So I literally built an AI that runs my computer for me. Like I just press a button, talk, and it does everything for me. Opening apps, searching Google, typing, and all of it. And the best part, I'm not even a genius. I'm just a lazy girl who is figuring it out. This whole channel is literally me figuring out stuff in real life and bringing you guys with me. So, if you're also lazy and want to make life easier, you are in the right place. So, let's go. Okay, before we get serious about everything, first let me explain in a simple words how actually this whole thing is built. Let me just break down what is actually happening behind the scenes. It's honestly not that complicated. So first, I use something called Whisper. It's made by OpenAI and it basically listens to my voice and converts it into a text. Sitting there on my PC and being smart. So I'm using a Llama 3 model, which is quite rustic, but you guys can switch to any other model. Maybe Gemini is much preferable, but I want something that's in my system. So I choose Ollama. Then I used a Python library called pyautogui, which is basically the hands, which is used to move mouse, type, open apps, and do all the stuff that you actually do on your own. And to connect all of this, I've just written a simple Python script. And the whole flow is I press Control and space, Whisper listens to me, Ollama thinks, Py Auto GUI acts, and that's it. These three tools, one script, and zero keyboard. That's how easy this is going to be. So I'm going to break down the journey and we're going to build all of this together. So let's see how this whole thing goes. So before we end up building the actual model, we need few things to be set in priority. So first thing will be to have Python installed. Right now, currently I'm using 3.13 and a proper Visual Studio that's already installed with you. So nothing will work without these two. And step will two will be to configure FFmpeg. So this is nothing but something which is used as a translator between us and the LLM. So this tool helps Whisper understand your mic audio. So you just need to install it once and never touch it again. So first of all, we need to install this in such a way that we need to add this into our system path. I'll put the exact comments that we need to install this in the description. And after this, we need few libraries. First of all, Whisper is needed to be installed, and then pyautogui, and then sounddevice and keyboard, and then Ollama. So these are the few things that are required before we step down on actually building the script. And you can install Ollama from official Ollama website, or and after you download it we can run Llama 3 and pull up the model. So this is nothing but your free AI brain that runs completely on your system, no API key needed, no cost, nothing. So this also adds up. And once we have all of this configured, these 4 steps done properly, where in description I'll provide each and guidance to build each and every step. Now let's step into writing the actual script, which is going to be so fun. So right now I've created a folder named Alex. So this is the folder which I'm going to be using to write my script up. So first let's set the whole thing up. First of all, I'm going to write app.py. This is going to be my main script header. So as I already mentioned, we need few pre-requirements for the whole thing to work. So there are few libraries that are supposed to be installed pre-handed, so which I'll be tagging in the description. So install them globally, which means we need not configure any environment, just install them directly without creating any virtual environment. So this way they'll be globally installed, and even if your system, you want this to be run in the background and complete any other task without configuring the environment, that could be done. So first we need to import all the necessary libraries. So for me, these are the particular libraries that are needed. Sounddevice and numpy, Whisper, keyboard, Ollama, and pyautogui and time. So on the top, this brings all our tools. So first of all, sound device is to record the mic, whisper is to convert voice to text, keyboard is to listen to our hotkeys, and Ollama is our brain, and Pi Auto Audio is what controls the PC. After that, we have to set few sample rate and duration. So you can use whatever sample rate that fits for you guys. I am going to use 16K because this is the best audio. You can use 8K too, but I'm going for 16K. And then we also need to set the duration. Duration is nothing but how much time do you want your AI to listen to you before it cuts it off. The seconds, it is in seconds. So 10 seconds, it's going to hold on and listen to me. And then as I told, we are dependent on whisper model. So we need to know if a whisper model is loaded or not. So before that, like a logging statement, I'm going to say loading whisper model. So to actually load the whisper model, we need to say model is equals to, sorry, whisper dot load model, and I am using the base model, not anything fancy. You have multiple models that you can use. So once you have built the base, you can keep on updating it based on your requirements. Then once this is done, I want you to say, so as the model is loaded, you can directly say hold control control+space. That's going to be my hotkeys that I'm going to configure, and speak. So this is how it's going to be there. So we say before we load the model that the model is loading, and we load the base model, and we say once the model is loaded, just hold the control and space and please start speaking. So now we need to configure the record audio function. So this function opens your mic and records for 10 seconds the moment you press the hotkey. That's it. Just a pure audio capturing. So just define a function. So I'll use def record audio, and in this I'm going to say print listening because I need to know if it's listening or not. Print listening, and then we need to configure the audio is equals to sd, which is sound device, sd dot record int of the duration into the sample rate. So this way, what we are trying to figure it out is we are trying to capture and record the amount of duration into the sample rate, the quality. So if we want to do any further step analysis, we can go back and check what are the other parts that could be included. Like right now, I'm using the sample rate. I'm setting the sample rate, and then I am also going to set this channels to 1, and D type also. D type to float 32. So once the recording is done, we need to say sd dot wait. This way, the recording is going to take a pause, and after how would we know if the recording is done well or not? So we'll print uh, we got it, like got it. So if the recording is done, then we got it. So this function will return the audio flatten. So audio dot flatten. This is what this particular function will return. Then we have a function. Now I'm going to write a function called transcribe. This takes the audio and passes it to whisper, which converts it into the actual text. So your voice becomes a string of words the AI can read. So to configure that particular function, def uh, transcribe. In this, we are going to pass the audio. Audio is equals to result is equals to model. So we are passing this to the model dot transcribe the audio, and fp16 is equals to true. We need to set it to false actually. So this way what happens is the configuration stays back in 32-bit itself. and then text is equals to, so as we need a text, we need to just say result dot, just bring the text out from that, and dot strip it up. So this is actually how we can configure it up. And after we got that, here we have stripped it, and then we need to print what actually did we configure, like what actually was being captured. So what I can say is if you said and the text. So whatever we have spoken that's been captured, that is what this function is going to return. So this is what is the transcript function. So right now I'm going to write another function, ask Ollama function. So def ask Ollama text. So what happens in this function is, this is like a brain that takes your text and sets it to Ollama within the system prompt that tells the AI exactly how you need to control your PC. The AI then replies with a pure Python code. So this is just your way of telling Ollama to perform certain action and give out a Python code. But here, the easiest way is I'm going to configure. So here, this is what ask Ollama function is. So here, if you see, response is equals to ollama.chat, and in the chat we need to send which model we are configuring and the system prompt that we are going to be using, and in return we are going to get back the response message and the context. So this is what we'll be getting as a executable for asking the Ollama. And then we have execute function. So right now I'm going to configure the execute function. So in execute function, this function just runs whatever the code that Ollama gives us, it works and your PC does the action. It's just like crashing and printing and getting out what exactly happens. If any error, it's like exception handling also. So execute and we say code. So here I'll say print executing, and then we'll have try and catch where we have the code that's been executed. In case if we have any kind of errors, then accept exception as E, and then print error as E, sorry, as E. So this will help us in handling the exception. And then we are going to have a run function. So def run. So in this function, we have a audio variable that's going to capture the audio function, and text variable that's going to capture the text. Oh, I think I wrote spelling wrong. Okay, so in this function, we're going to pass the audio that's been captured. And once the audio is captured, if the text is been given out, then code is equals to ask Ollama. We're going to pass it to ask Ollama. And what are we going to pass? The text. So once we pass the text, the Ollama is going to give what are we going to ask. So after we pass this, the AI is also going to give us a response. So that's going to be captured right now. AI says, I want to print it in a new line. So that's going to be the code. So whatever reply we get from the AI, that's going to be go here. And then we also have exception execute block that is going to come here, and we are going to pass the code, whatever the response we have got. And then right now we need to also set the keyboard variables which are used as a hotkeys whenever you want this to be activated. So when do you want the run function to activate? For that, I think I'm gonna go with control control plus space. So then the run block will be executed. And then, so now let's execute it and see how it performs. So the model is loaded successfully and it says hold control and space and speak. Can you open Notepad? So after the 10 seconds duration is done, it opens a Notepad for me. Now I'll say, can you write in the Notepad, hi? Can you write Notepad? Sorry, can you open the Notepad? Okay, it did detect it, but it got the thing what to write it as wrong. Open the Notepad, and after whatever I said after the open part, it has taken it as this part. It's okay. Then can you open Google? So until the 10 seconds duration is not done, it's not going to stop listening. Can you open ChatGPT if it is in the system? So yeah, it's not there. Okay. Can you go to Google and open Gemini? Can you go to Google and open Gemini? So it does the exact task. So yeah. So that's how the model works. You can actually disclose it based on your functionality, what other things are supposed to be added, detected, and what other complex things you can make it work. So yeah, thank you.